our foundational freedoms, such as freedom of speech, due process, things that are the core elements of our society, are being destroyed in real time by this Trump regime. We see people being abducted and sent to an El Salvadorian prison without due process. We see students who were exercising their freedom of speech being deported because of what a single man, Marco Rubio, says. And now we are hearing from Trump border chief Tom Homan saying that they plan to criminally go after sanctuary city officials. This is not the first time we have heard this from the Trump regime, but they are doubling down on this clearly unconstitutional and illegal move. And based on everything we have seen so far, do we really think they're not going to do this? Take a look at what he just said.
There are laws on the books that make it a criminal offense to shield or harbor illegal immigrants, like the sanctuary state city leaders have been doing. Do you think they should be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law and possibly put in prison?
Absolutely. And hold tight on that one. Because it's coming. It's coming. I've been clear on that since day one. The sanctuary city can sit by and watch their communities get ravaged by illegal aliens. They can watch young women get raped and murdered. Trump administration is not going to stand for that.
The chilling effect of that statement is that the power to do what he wants to do is vested in the Department of Justice headed by Pam Bondi, who has been doing Trump's bidding. And if he wants there to be a criminal prosecution of government officials in sanctuary cities, I do not think that she will say no. Will they have FBI agents willing to carry out such a warrant? We'll see. This is going to be a time to see who is going to obey in advance, who is willing to step up for the rule of law. But this is what we're hearing from this border chief. We should take him seriously. What he's trying to say is these sanctuary cities throughout the country who have essentially said that they are not going to use their city resources to help the federal agents carry out their immigration policy, because they have found for their own city, it is better not to treat immigrants in their town like criminals, because immigrants in their town are working taxpayers contributing to society, that in order to even investigate crimes, they need to not have people afraid to talk to the police. So they have taken the action of formally becoming sanctuary cities because the people in that community want that. And here we have really the most basic collision of the separation between the federal government and the states. And yes, back in the past, it was the Republicans who were always into or crying about federal overreach, especially, of course, when it came to civil rights. I mean, that was the whole argument between Justice Kavanaugh and why he overturned Roe, because states' rights meant so much. The civil rights of a woman and what she does over her body must go back to the states. But here in this situation, Trump and his regime is saying the states essentially have no rights. This, of course, is unconstitutional because we have something called the 10th Amendment. And the 10th Amendment specifically talks about when the federal government has the power, when the state has a power. And let me just read the language from it. So that way, if people are asking you, oh, this isn't in the Constitution, you can say clearly it is. The 10th Amendment specifically says, the powers not delegated to the United States by the Constitution, nor prohibited by it to the states, are reserved to the states respectively or to the people. And what they're talking about there is that if the federal government alone has the power, then the federal government alone has the power. Like Congress imposes taxes on the federal government. Then, or if states are delegated to have the power, such as running elections, and that's delegated in the Constitution, then just the states have that power. And if the Constitution hasn't specifically specified who, then there's a sharing of power. But the federal government cannot force a state to undertake a power if the state hasn't had to have that power in the Constitution. And so requiring a sanctuary state to basically carry out the federal government's immigration laws would be a constitutional violation. And we've never had a Supreme Court say otherwise. So for Trump to act as if it is criminal for a sanctuary city to not carry out the federal government immigration laws is, of course, not based on any Supreme Court precedent. And if he were to arrest a government official and he were to have the Department of Justice start criminal proceedings, we would have yet another constitutional crisis. It would have to go up to the Supreme Court, and whether or not this Supreme Court would stand for the states' rights or this overreach of presidential power, certain of those Heritage Foundation judges like the president having so much power. We may be in a situation where the Supreme Court allows for a criminal prosecution. I mean, we don't know this Supreme Court. Thankfully, they just ruled 9-0 in favor of the due process rights of the Maryland resident who was abducted to El Salvador. But we don't know if they will always be as reliable, let's say. But that is the state of what Trump is planning on doing with these sanctuary cities.
420 is right around the corner, and there's no better time to elevate your wellness routine. Whether you want to relax, recharge, or refocus, Vaia has the perfect lineup for you. If you haven't tried them yet, you're seriously missing out. Whether you need to unwind, refocus, or boost your mood, Vaia is here to enhance your every day and night. Trusted by over 500,000 happy customers, Vaia is changing the game in natural wellness, blending powerful, high-quality hemp-derived ingredients to deliver real, effect-driven benefits. Whether you're looking to sleep better, have better focus, recover, or simply relax, Vaia has a tailored solution just for you. With products ranging from 0 to high cannabinoid levels, Vaia lets you fully customize your experience to fit your needs. Whether you're looking to support your daily wellness routine, enhance focus and clarity, or unwind with deep relaxation, Vaia has you covered. From their award-winning effect-forward gummies to calming drops, every Vaia product is thoughtfully crafted, made with organic, lab-tested hemp, sourced and trusted from trusted, independent, American-owned farms. And the best part, Vaia legally ships across the USA in discreet, direct-to-your-door, no medical card required packaging. So not to worry, if you don't know where to start, take their Vaia's Product Finder quiz to get personalized recommendations tailored to your needs. It can take you less than 60 seconds to figure it out. So if you're 21 or older, treat yourself to Vaia's annual Spring 420 sale. Black Friday level savings up to 35% off site-wide right now, up to 50% off packs and bundles, and get a free gift and more savings with your first order using our exclusive code MISTRIAL at the link in our description. Plus, you can enjoy free shipping on orders of over $100. So unlock the power of nature with Vaia's organic and vegan hemp extracts, perfect for relaxation and rejuvenation. It's the only lifestyle hemp brand. So you're going to love it. If you're 21 years or older, check out the link to Vaia in our description and treat yourself to Vaia's annual Spring 420 sale. Black Friday level savings up to 35% off statewide right now, up to 50% off packs and bundles, and you get a free gift and more savings with your first order using our exclusive code MISTRIAL. That's MISSTRIAL. Plus, you will enjoy free shipping on orders over $100. That's code MISTRIAL with 2 S's, all one word, at the link in our description. After you purchase, when they ask you where you heard about them, please support our show and tell them we sent you. Enhance your everyday with Vaia.
And in another related but not as spoken about area of immigration law, the Trump administration is changing how people seek asylum. First of all, they have drastically cut the budget for asylum. The judges, the lawyers, this makes it harder for people who are seeking asylum in our country to be granted asylum because the waits are already so long, and now they're going to have to wait even longer. And as we know, our asylum laws in this country mean that you are asking that even if you came here without papers, that you are asking to be granted papers because being sent back to your country is so dangerous. And when I worked at my big law firm, one of the things we had was a pro bono program where we as lawyers helped people who were seeking asylum. And I have to tell you, that process is not easy. And what this Trump administration is doing is making it so the judge can decide whether or not that person is granted asylum solely on their application without a hearing. And often that application is filled out by the person seeking asylum, which means they don't speak English, usually as their first language, or if they do, probably not very well. It is a long and difficult and complicated asylum form that they now have to fill out themselves unless they're able and manage to be connected with a lawyer so early in the process, which is difficult. So what we did when we did pro bono is we represented the asylum seeker in court during their hearing, and were able to be their spokesperson and able to speak and help them articulate why and the evidence, provide the evidence for why they should be granted asylum. And so Trump, by saying they don't need a hearing, you are basically taking away that legal representation. You're having it just beyond the form. The odds of somebody coming into this country after the amount of miles of travel and probably the trauma, frankly, of travel and perhaps little sleep, filling out this form that they don't know much about, maybe can barely even write fully. And now this life and death decision based on that form. And these are the kind of things that the Trump regime continues to do. We see the big headlines. And then this is something that maybe isn't given a big headline, but it is going to impact thousands and thousands of people who really need the safety of our country. Let's be frank. Trump wouldn't try to be putting this much pressure on a sanctuary city official to help with immigration enforcement if he were truly just going after criminals, because usually criminals are in jail or on probation and are fairly easy to track. No, the fact is he's going after people regardless of whether or not they're criminals. AOC just recently said it best, that if he really wanted to go after criminals, why doesn't he just go after himself?
Donald Trump is a criminal who was found guilty of 34 felony counts of fraud, liable for sexual abuse. Of course he's lying and abusing and manipulating the stock market too. When he talks about rapists and criminals, he should look in the mirror.
My name is Dina Doll with the MeidasTouch Network. We will continue to update you with all the many legal developments to come.
Love this video? Continue the conversation by following us on Instagram @MeidasTouch and help us blow past 1 million followers.